Tension building here. Just waiting for the green light to go. And underway. Glorious start. Ooh, the little bit of jiggle and jabble at the start there. Seeing the Porsche come into second spot. Managing to have that grip off the start line.
The Corvette's
got
away well.
Streaming through there.
Usually the Porsches are quite good at starting, and the Corvettes managed to hold them off into the first few corners.
There we go, watching them through the sweeper now. The Corvette, Porsche and the Sprite. What can the Sprite do around the tight wiggly bits down here? Around the big gum tree. Not able to do much there at this point. Although it's throw a handkerchief over the first three guys. DiBartolo opens up the taps on the Chevy.
On the straights, they're difficult to catch.
Yeah, they're not going to catch him in a straight line, but boy, they gather him up into the corners as they power on down the back straight in the new section of this track here at Winton on the extension. We call it the new, or I call it the new section because for me it is, but for somebody like you, Sam, it's probably always been there.
Yeah, correct. I think ever since I was a kid, it's always been like that.
Meyer there all over the back of the Porsche. Not able to do anything in a straight line, but that little car is so very, very nimble.
You got Tom Wallstab being chased by the yellow Pantera of Ross Jackson. The Corvette's managing a slight lead at the front.
The old turn one. Currently turn 3 into 4. Heads off for the sweeper. But the Chevy powering along really well. Standing lap time there for DiBartolo of a 5. Well, that can't be right. Wasn't a 5-minute lap time.
That's a walking pace around here.
I don't think he'd be too happy if it was a 5-minute lap time, and he certainly wouldn't be in the lead of this group of cars.
I think he's trying to get his lap record because his qualifying pace was on song this morning. He's keeping Webster at bay for now, and it seems like Meyer's dropped off.
Yeah, he's not able to keep up today. Sometimes he's the little one at the front and everybody else is chasing. Interesting to see what happens in this race as it progresses on. We've got 15 laps if I remember correctly. So we've got plenty of time for him to wear them down as the brakes and suspension components probably get a little bit soggy in the heavier cars. These little cars can come back into their own.
I think he must have had an off because he's outside the top 10 at the moment. So it's the two Porsches trying to catch the big Corvette. There he is here in 9th position, trying to make up some places.
Nice and tight there between 3 other cars. The little MG's working really hard, heading towards the sweeper there now. Oh, spinner. And that's another of the Sprites, a little bug eye Sprite. Had a little bit of an oopsie daisy.
A bit too aggressive under brakes. Meyer's gotten past those 2 other midgets.
Gregory Punster in the little silver machine that had that spin.
The great thing about Group S feel is that there's always battles to watch everywhere throughout the field.
Yeah, there's a lot of variation in capabilities of the cars, from front engine to rear engine, big and little.
The two Porsches are trying to keep Joe honest up the front.
DiBartolo going through it again. There he goes around turn 3, heading for 4. Fastest lap for him so far is a 1:37.82.
It'll be interesting to see how the big Corvette's brakes last over this long 15-lap race. Alex Webster right on his tail heading into the...
So how many laps, Sam, do you think they get in the Corvettes before those brakes start to become a bit spongy?
Oh, it could be four, 5 laps sometimes.
4 or 5 laps. So
I think after...
a little bit to go before that might start and play an aspect in this.
Yeah, Alex Webster's definitely keeping him honest. He's going to be there waiting.
And of course they're going to catch up to some of the slower runners as well, so traffic may play a part in the circumstances towards the end of this event.
Yeah, with such a large field, Phil, they get spread out very quickly. Doug Barbour in 3rd position, trying to hang on to the leaders.
Yeah, that was just heading past Gregory Prunster in the bug-eye spot that had had the spin earlier, so he's already lapped. You've got old Datsuns getting around out there too, the 240 and 240Zs. Great sports car from back in the day. Here we go. Barbour still out in the lead. Works his way around the old gum tree.
There's Damien Meyer working his way back up to 6th position now.
And I see the Tommaso Pantera there going through as well. Beautiful looking car.
Yeah, the long straights of Winton definitely suit the horsepower.
Absolutely.
It is a really good track though. It caters for all types of cars with the short stuff, the long straights, some long corners as well.
Yeah, you don't get much of a chance to catch a nap down the straights here. They're long enough to stretch your legs if you've got the long legs, but you've covered one end of the straight to the other in a fairly quick time. So what sort of speeds are you getting up to around here, Sam, in the Chevy when you're behind the wheel?
You probably get to around that 200 mark, just over 200 kilometres an hour. I think Phillip Island's the fastest circuit on the calendar for us. Getting up to that 240, 250.
Yeah.
Which is pretty scary when you're trying to stop these large machines. Joe DiBartolo is doing a fine job at the front, holding
great
off
job out there in the lead as he wanders around the old gum tree yet again. Still in the lead, being chased by Webster and Barbour. Whilst they're back a little. Rowan Hodges being passed there, and the lots of trouble, usually serious. I had to get that in. I've got a mate that's got a Lotus Elan. Always give you a bit of a stir.
There's always something with old cars.
As they quite a gaggle of cars there heading through the left-hander onto the new section.
It's James
overtaking
Calvert Jones started from the back of the grid after some technical difficulties this morning. He's doing quite nicely there.
Donald Bartley there in another of the Austin Healey Sprites being about to be gobbled up by a Porsche.
From starting last, he's made his way up to 10th, and I think now 8th, which is a great recovery drive from James.
Big move on the inside there by the Porsche into turn 1. Always got to be careful when you come down the inside of someone into a corner like that when there's a great speed difference that they don't turn down in on top of you. But DiBartolo now still well out in front. But just over 2-second lead.
Yeah, he's handling the car quite nicely. Some Porsches and Alphas going added into turn 1.
Some glorious cars out there, Sam, and really good to see them heading around. You're saying you've got some gearbox troubles in one of the cars?
Yeah, unfortunately, Dave Baker in his convertible Corvette had a gearbox issue this morning. So we're not a good representation from the Corvette team over the weekend, but Joe DiBartolo is doing a great job out front.
There's our little bug eye again, George Punstad. Gregory Punstad, sorry, out lonely as he is, about to be gobbled up the back straight.
Yeah, Richard East in
number 9. That's Richard East.
Hugh Harrison in his Alphas doing a great job in 7th place. He's always quite quick around this circuit. And yeah, James Calvert Jones is already on the back of him, doing a fantastic drive.
Yeah, we should mention Aussie Soils and Cryo Cycle, Cave Hill Engines and FS Spaganolo and Co. for sponsoring or being parts of the sponsors of the overall event. Equity One, of course, being our major sponsor. Huge thank you to Equity One for all that they are doing for the event. Bit of a shout out to all of the volunteers that do so much behind the scenes, from flag points to stewards and scrutineers and all sorts of people out there doing things for the love of the sport, as we just watch a Porsche make mincemeat out of an Alpha. The Alpha seems to have slowed a little.
Now we're getting the Porsches coming through the back traffic. But no, you're right, a real shout out to all the volunteers over the weekend, because these events don't run without them.
Douglas Barbour there in car number 911.
Tammy Hotz driving the MG, also doing a great job this weekend.
Nice and tidy through the corner there, keeping the car nice and straight. No flamboyant driving styles out there at the moment. It's keeping it all straight and nice and tidy. Everybody keeping a good safe line as they head on around the track.
the two Porsches are starting to close the gap on the Corvette.
Yeah, DiBartolo certainly starts to be a little bit of a lessening of the gap. It's down to about 1 second back to Webster last time around.
Damien Meyer back up to 4th position. And then Tom Wallstab in the 928 coming around turn 1. There's always some great looking cars here in Group S.
He must be coming fairly close to the end of this event, I think. 6 laps remaining. DiBartolo getting a little bit sideways coming through that right-handed corner under the old back straight. Around the left-hander he comes onto the extension. Right foot to the floor, and bye-bye ta-da, see you later. It's down the straight it goes. Big Chevy. Plenty of power under the bonnet, and it seems to apply it quite well to the track.
A few back markers here.
I remember Warren Henderson from Geelong many years ago used to run a Chevy Corvette, and sitting in the car, I don't know how he raced it because it was a very difficult car to see out of. How do you find it, Sam? You're a bit taller than me, so you probably sit up a little higher in the car.
Yeah, it's I find it very, very easy. I've also driven a couple Porsches in my time as well, and I definitely prefer the bigger car. The left-hand drive also makes it a bit interesting too.
Yeah, that's got to muck up your gear change if you've only ever driven from the right-hand seat.
Yeah, I think it takes about a couple laps to get used to, and then it's like second nature.
I see Joe's been able to put that, pull another extra second on. He's 2.2 seconds ahead in the last time around, so from Webster.
Yeah, he's just done a 1:36.6 on that last lap, which is 0.2 off his lap record. So I think he's gunning for another accolade.
Keeping it really smooth. Apply the power smoothly and make sure you've got it all the way to the floor. But jump onto the brakes, roll the car into the corner and out. Datsuns, Lotuses, Porsches. How good is it to be able to see all of this happening right here in front of us?
Yeah, the Group S field's got something for everyone, and it's really good to see all these different battles.
Yeah, Hundo, they're just going through underneath Rowan Hodges in the Lotus Elan. Joe DiBartolo back out in front, round the big gum tree.
4 laps to go. That's Tim Linus in the Alfa Romeo. First time driving it for him this weekend. He's doing a great job for a debut. Normally in a 928 Porsche.
Okay.
So I think he's missing a bit of horsepower, but he's out there, which is great to see.
Absolutely. And the little Alphas, well, that's not a car, that's an Alfa Romeo, I guess was the old advert from years ago. Beautiful little car, and they're pretty well known for their handling. Down the front straight. Around turn 1 and 2.
Lots of traffic for the leaders, getting held up into turn 1. John Geist in the open top Datsun is also a very quick car around here.
Rowan Hodges there just steps to the left and makes room for Joe DiBartolo as he heads on into the sweeper. Down around the inside now, he's got to go around the outside of the Datsun. Seems to manage that okay. Down around the wobbly bits, around the old gum tree. Onto that tight corner onto the back straight. What gear would you be coming through there?
He'll be in second there, and then third, and then back down to second for the tight left-hander. And then, as you said before, foot flat to the floor, trying to get as much horsepower out of that car as possible.
Car 52, the beautiful little Alfa Romeo there, heading around on our screen. And the checkered flag is out and waved, and that would mean that Joe DiBartolo has taken that race quite convincingly with a 2.8 second margin through to Webster.